Hi, I'm Rick Howe,
And I'm Sherry Brennan.
and it's time to talk back to television. Okay, we're here with Sherry Brennan, who's a television veteran with distribution and network and technology experience. And today's topic is of interest to everyone, according to what I've seen on my social media hits. We're going to talk about Disney. So, Sherry Brennan, we're going to talk about Disney now, and that's all the Disney businesses. And we're going to jump right in because everybody wants to know. The first question I have for you is, what should Bob Iger do with Hulu? Because my sense is Disney doesn't understand it, and I'm not sure the consumers do. What should he do?
Well, first, I want to start by saying Bob Iger has never seemed to me to be in desperate need of my advice. However,
he should be. But...
Well, I like to think that if everyone would just listen to me, the world would function better. So in that spirit, I'll offer some thoughts for Mr. Iger or others at Disney, and they can have them with my compliments. So in terms of Hulu, I think consumers are confused in general about streaming, and Hulu is no exception. It's very difficult for consumers to figure out where to find the things that they want. When they find something they like, they're happy, of course, but they don't really understand why certain shows are on Hulu or HBO Max or Peacock or what have you. And so I think that that is a big problem for everybody in the streaming business, and for consumers, obviously. So in terms of what Bob Iger or Disney should do with Hulu, one idea that occurs to me is to sell it to somebody big like Google. Maybe combine it with YouTube TV. Both have a live linear service and both have on-demand content, although Hulu obviously has a lot more of the professionally produced on-demand content. And it occurs to me that some sort of consolidation in the streaming space is going to happen inevitably over time. And the combination of YouTube Live and Hulu Live and the Hulu subscription video on demand content seems like it would be a great consumer offering to me.
Cool. All right. But we got to keep on track here.
Okay.
We've only got 5 minutes. All right. That's Hulu. Now, the next one is, what should Bob Iger do with ESPN? And my question to you is this one of those where they ought to go big or go home? What should they do?
So in a nutshell, I think they should go big. I don't think they should sell it or go home, because I don't think anybody out there can make more money from ESPN than they can. So they'll never get what they want from selling it. I do think sports rights costs, sports rights costs are out of control, and the leagues and conferences need to cooperate with the buyers of the rights and figure out a way for everybody to make money without gouging the consumer. Because with the television audience falling, obviously we got to move stuff to streaming. We've got to figure out how to make money there with sports, even with the marquee events. And it's just something's out of whack here, and something's got to give. But I think they should go big. I don't think they should sell.
Go big. They should just spend the money and get the rights and, as they say, suck it up. Okay. The next one. Now we're at the
I didn't
Disney
say that.
Channel. I'm sorry. The Disney Channel. And here was my question to you, and you pushed back on this one pretty hard. That maybe the Disney Channel should have an ad-supported Disney Channel Plus or Disney Plus service, and then have a premium service, a second service with all the high-end stuff and the Marvel movies and the Star Wars movies and all the rest without advertising. You didn't like that idea very much.
I don't like that idea because I think consumers are already confused. There's already too much choice. I think pricing should be related to whether or not there are ads. So if you're willing to tolerate ads, you ought to pay a lower price. And if you're not willing to tolerate ads, you ought to pay a higher price. I think consumers are very clear about what that means. And I think we have evidence from Hulu way back when people used to complain about Hulu's ad volume, and then we added the ad-free version at a higher price point, the complaints about advertising pretty much evaporated overnight. So I think that is evidence that consumers are smart enough to figure out ads, no ads. What confuses them is why is this movie over here and not over here? Why is this TV show on one service and not the other? Why do I find seasons 1 to 3 over here and 5 over there, and I can't find 4 anywhere? That is what consumers are confused about. So doing anything that perpetuates that, in my opinion, is a really bad idea.
Okay. All right. Last question now. Disney has something that no other streaming has. They have the parks, and they have played around with offers and promotions and discounts between Disney Plus and the parks. And you have some opinions about that.
I am not a fan of discounts, as you may know. And I think for one reason, it's more expensive to the company than it feels valuable to the consumer. So 10% off, 20% off, whatever, doesn't seem like that much. The consumer's still paying a lot for the park entrance fee. So I'm not a big fan of tying discounts on park passes to, for example, subscriptions to Disney Plus. What I am a fan of is something that feels free to the consumer, that feels like a really good value to the consumer, but that functions for the company in a very similar way. So for example, you could say to people, every 6 months you're a subscriber to Disney Plus, I'm going to send you a free pass to the park. Maybe that free pass has a 90-day expiration, and you're not going to go alone. You're going to take your family. So if you take 3 other people with you, guess what? That's a 25% discount, but it feels more valuable to the consumer. And so I think things like that, where it's a real clear value proposition to the consumer, is the way to go. And I definitely think they also ought to be putting experience videos on Disney Plus, like full-length ones, stuff like you see on Reddit that people upload all the time. Those kind of things are basically long-form ads that people will just watch on their own. They don't even have to push them. And so I think that's another vehicle for marketing for the parks that ties in nicely with Disney Plus.
Okay. All right. So that does take us to the first time that we've tried this. We're going to have a talk back tidbit, a little tidbit for the consumers amongst us. And the first one I'm going to talk about is, in terms of Disney Plus, last year, and we expect them to do it this year, you can save up to 25% on your reservation costs for the resorts at Disney World if you're a Disney Plus subscriber. That's a big deal. I used it last year. I saved $800 for an $8 a month subscrition. You can get a lot of subscriptions.
Did you really save that money? Would you have stayed there for $800 more?
No, this is interesting. I had a pre-existing reservation. I saw the promotion come in, and Disney let me apply the discount to a pre-existing reservation. So I did not do something new because I had Disney Plus.
Well, that is good customer service, and I am always a fan of that. That's absolutely a wise move on their part.
They did it right on that. Okay, here we go. That's Talk Back to Television. Sherry Brennan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Rick.
And we'll see everybody again next Thursday. Bye-bye.